All righty. And we are now back on the Watch for the Hook Business and Entrepreneur Podcast, coming to you every Wednesday on Watch for the Hook Wednesdays. It's Michael with,
Hey, it's Tatiana, and you stole my line.
well, I got you today, Miss Parker. Well, since I stole your line, Miss Parker, why
Yeah.
don't you don't come on, bring us in? What we talking about today?
Well, I think today we are going to talk a little bit about being just really intentional. We actually were on a live IG hookup session
hmm
with an individual. You wanna give her?
Miss Losha Brooks of First Class Educators.
Yeah, first class education consulting.
Yeah,
And this kind of like the overarching theme with the whole conversation we had with her, which is really how intentional she is.
exactly. And so we wanted to piggyback out there
Yeah,
because
because it
you
gave
got,
us some good
yeah, it
energy.
gave us some good
Yeah,
energy.
absolutely.
And and so like and people are like, what do you mean by being intentional? So for business owners, being intentional can mean doing things the right way
Yep, the first time.
the first time. That can also mean just not doing shit that you just throwing up on the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, because you had a harebrained moment
Oh yeah, thought it
in
was gonna work,
in the
child.
middle of the night after you had all them cocktails and like salty food.
Yeah, I mean, certain things about us. We just talking about being intentional. Right now, it's gonna be the fall.
Yes,
So, we're working on some apparel designs
for the
for the
fall.
fall. It wouldn't make much sense for us to put out a tank top.
Not really. It's cold.
Yeah, when the temperature is going, what direction? Down.
Folks putting the gun shows up.
Exactly. So, that's just being intentional,
It
being
is.
smart,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And even like us, podcast world, we give y'all both sides. Give the business and then we give the podcast.
Right, 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 right.
We're intentional about helping podcasters who want to try to sell their merch.
Yeah, create it
Exactly.
and sell it.
We're trying to get those serious podcasters who want to have the right intentions to help monetize their podcast by selling merch.
Yeah.
And you can do that when you come by.
Podcastmoneymerch.mykajabi.com.
Hey, Miss Parker just told y'all now. Come by and get that free one-on-one call with me and Miss Parker.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to help you take you from idea to implementation.
Yeah. And so everything that's built for that course, all of that content is so intentional. Like you won't derail.
We're intentionally trying to save you time and money.
That's the whole point. So it was created like for an intentional purpose.
Yeah,
Whole point.
the intention is for y'all not to go through the shit we went through.
Right, right. But even talking to Losha, just she spoke and she didn't use like the exact word, but everything was like, oh, essentially she did her research.
Yeah,
That's intention based.
yeah, you gotta get to the point.
Yeah. Using the data and the science to drive your next moves. That's intention.
I think in one of our earlier podcast episodes, we talked about doing your research.
Yeah.
And we talked about the more work you put in on the front end, the less work you should have to put in the middle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And as you're fixing things up, to run it all the way to its end.
Yeah. Now that doesn't mean tweaks won't have to
Oh
happen.
yeah.
That does not mean that. But it's one thing to tweak a bike chain than to have to like the whole bike chain popped off and you gotta put it back on.
Or you done tore the bike chain loose and you gotta try to fix the links.
Yeah.
Cause that right there is where it gets real hard.
So it's like it's really intentional. She is so intentional. She made me just like she gave me the extra energy I needed to know that like, okay, so we're not crazy for
No,
being super intentional.
no, we
We're
a little bit
trying to
crazy.
you can say that.
Mhm.
We're trying to waste the least amounts of time, waste the least amount of resources, be it dollar or or just, time,
Oh yeah. Most,
energy.
most definitely. For me and Miss Parker, like I said, we always talk about the 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 us. The
And
20
then now 23.
and the 23 us has now learned in that Jordan year, because it's 23. We know 23. We have become so much more intentional
Uh-huh.
with how we are trying to run our business.
Yeah.
It like I said, we didn't have a blueprint, didn't have a map. We still going by the seat of our pants,
Right,
literally.
right, right.
But we already know in our minds certain shit don't work.
Right.
There's no need to go down that road again.
Don't do it.
We've already seen that, Mr. Parker. Michael, don't go there. Okay, I got you.
Don't some boxes listen, don't check.
Yeah. And if you check them, don't double check.
Don't worry about trying to check them. Just, trying to say, "Hey, we put out 15 pieces of product this year, 15 different pieces of product, 15 different designs." That may not be the smartest thing to do.
Oh,
You may need to put out 4 or 5 and have them be so intentional.
exactly. Because this what we learned is on the apparel side, most of your customers online need to see it at least 7 times.
And that's a lot, okay?
Yeah. And
That is
so
a lot.
and so just think about that. If you have put out 15 products, they need to see at least on minimum those 15 products 7 different times. That doesn't mean they're gonna see it on the first or the seventh post. That means they need to see it
Right,
7 times. So now you have to be intentional on how many times you have to post a certain product throughout the year or season or
right.
whatever you're doing.
So, if you are putting out 20 pieces of product in a year, right? That means one person has to see a total amount of posts that equate to
What's 20 times 2?
140 posts.
140 posts.
That's astronomical, y'all.
140 posts. I mean, but that is a lot of posts.
That's a lot.
And honestly, it's nowhere near what you need to do.
Now, but hold on, but go, right, but just think for that one person to see all of those products, minimum 7 times, that's 140 different posts. I don't care if you recycle that one 7 times, it's the same post. You still gotta either A, manually do it,
Yes.
or B, schedule it to be done. So it's still being done. It's crazy because if you look at 140, right?
Mhm.
It's 52 weeks in a year. You now have to divide that 140 by 52, right? 52 weeks in a year, trying to figure out all of the days. Then you can go a step further and you can go on average. If once you figure out 140 divided by 52, now stretch that over 7 days. Is that equating to a post a day for that one product? Or, it's a lot behind it. So when you're being intentional and you decide to go from 20 products to 10, you just click all of that in half. And you may or
It's a
may not,
lot of work.
it's a lot of work, and you may or may not have the same revenue, like it's different. It's really different. And I see Michael over here is about on the brink of some technical issues, but
Praise the hook.
we are gonna keep going.
Yeah. Computer wasn't charged up, Lord. We do everything we can. But that's just how it roll. We roll with it. We keep it pushing. So what Mr. Tucker basically was saying was when you are just doing something to say I'm doing something for my business, it may not really be beneficial to your business. You may
May
have
not.
just checked the box and said, well, I did this today, okay, I did what I was supposed to do. Did you do it with a purpose?
Right.
Did you do it to gain something?
Right.
Did you do it to further your business? Like, if you doing shit in your business just to be doing shit, man, your business may struggle.
You're wasting time.
Yeah, your most valuable asset that you'll never get back
You're
is your
literally
time.
wasting time. Yeah.
And when we think about things, 2023 version of us, you can look back on 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and we can point and say, yeah, we tried it. That wasn't it.
That didn't work.
Let's put that one over there on that side. Let's not go back to that.
Nope.
Then we had some things in 21 that worked, 22 that worked. We're like, okay, how can we expound or
Yeah.
expand
Yeah.
on those things that worked when we only had an apparel brand?
Right.
Now we got an apparel brand,
Yep.
we got a coaching module, we got a podcast. So how
And
do
a hookup
and the
session.
hookup sessions? So how do we take something that worked in the apparel brand and then be intentional and help us to help it in the coaching realm
Right.
or in the podcast or on a hookup? You have to learn those things because you're being intentional in your business. You can just sit around and just be like, man, Well, today's Monday. You know what I need to do? Whatever I do on Monday.
You're right, but what do you do on Mondays? Yeah.
Is Monday a beneficial day for your business?
Right.
Are you is your Monday in it for your business? Is your Monday in it for your business? What you doing? Oh, some folks clock in on Monday, don't do shit. I mean, they clocks in and they ain't hit the lick of a snake.
Yeah. I mean, that is sadly, that is so
And they
true.
gotta work hard Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah.
They ain't do shit
They didn't
Monday.
do nothing on Monday. Like, what
Yeah,
did you do productive that day? What did you do that aligned with, what you actually have going on? What did you do that aligned with what you're trying to achieve?
exactly. Like even for us, like I say, right now, we talked about it. Apparel wise, it's getting cool. We looking at beanie designs. We're looking at baseball cap designs. We're looking at hoodies for the fall and winter. That's being
That's
intentional
intentional.
because it's finna get cold.
Right, right, right. Now, and honestly, there are some points where you can be like super well oiled and refined. And this fall, you may not be looking at a bean or summer, end of summer, looking at beanies and baseball caps and things like that. You may already have that in the bag. You may now be looking at what you're gonna put out in the summer. That's cool. The following summer.
Yeah,
That's fine. That is absolutely fine. But if you're not quite at that point, then don't be trying to put out like tank tops, in December.
yeah. I mean, like,
And I think that's kind of like what we're just saying,
yeah,
just be intentional.
yeah. I mean, like, even for our podcast, the intentions of the podcast from the jump were to give you a behind the scenes look at me and my wife being small black minority business owners. That was the original intent. We're giving you behind the veil.
Yeah.
We kind of expounded upon it. We're like, well, let's go behind the veil. Let's get him the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, 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 because that's beneficial for people. So that's intentional for
Exactly.
us.
So even growing from that with the podcast money merch coaching platform, we've evolved that from the podcast.
Yeah.
From seeing, talking to other podcasters, seeing them say, man, I got a hoodie design or I got a t-shirt, I made some buttons or I did a little something, I
Yeah.
just gave it to my friends and family. Or, I got a couple I just throw out there, every blue moon. We're trying to get those who really want to be like, man, I want to
Right,
sell
right,
this.
right. I want to get my fingers dirty.
Yeah, I want to be intentional. I want to be a merchandise seller.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's being intentional.
Right. I
And
want
we're
to get in that
helping people with that.
creative space,
Yes,
graphic creation.
yes. I want to take the ideas that are inside of my noggin and bring them to life.
Your noggin.
Your noggin, that thing on top of your shoulders, that noggin. Yeah, I mean, those are intentions. And it's time for people to be intentional about what they want to do. But they say life you're only here for a short time. You don't know how long the time
Right.
is still short compared to the time of just time itself. But make this count.
You should. You should.
Be intentional about all these things, man. Me and you, we can sit here and on our podcast, we can say so much other shit.
We could.
That's not our intentions.
It's not.
It's not what we set this up for.
I be wanting to though.
Oh, I know. I know you with the shit sometimes, boy. Let me tell you. Y'all think it'd be me, man. Miss Parker would rip you a new one if she could, boy. She like, oh, it's a
All right.
yeah. Yeah, y'all think it's me though, nah. It be us sometimes. Boy, y'all be surprised. Miss Parker would rip you a new one. She be like, I get it, asshole. Up.
Whatever.
I'm sick
But
of it.
that's not the intent.
It's not
The
this.
intent is to be beneficial to
Yeah.
people that are listening,
Yes, we want to inspire, educate,
to help move them around obstacles.
motivate.
Don't even hit that obstacle.
Yes,
I'm gonna
avoid
tell
it.
you, don't hit that obstacle. That's going to be an obstacle.
We gonna tell you mile marker 172. Don't take that exit.
Don't take it. Don't
Just
take it.
keep straight.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really about like guidance.
Yeah, I mean, our intentions is to spread the wealth. And whether it's not just monetary, it's information, education, oh man, just
She
all
even
kind of
hit
things.
on not or no longer having to fend for yourself. That's a whole topic we've had.
Ooh,
She hit on that one. If
man,
we had addressed that with her, we'd probably been on that hookup session another 45 minutes.
listen, when we are trying to expound upon you all, everybody ain't gotta get it out the mud.
Yeah. Oh my, it was so refreshing
Yes,
to hear her say that. And she was the product she offers, the service she offers, that's the intent, is so that you don't have to fend for yourself. She has done a lot of the research for you.
he's already built you the bridge.
Yeah, she's got the blueprint ready for you.
And that's one thing that we talk about, especially in our culture, our society. We have to stop being the person to say, I got to build my own bridge.
Yeah.
When the bridge you can walk across is right next to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And all you got to do is say, appreciate it.
Right.
All you got to do is say, appreciate you.
And help somebody else not have to fend for themselves.
And show them and show
Point
some
that
other people.
finger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
show those
point that
folks. It's
finger.
another the bridge right here,
Yeah,
brother.
it's that
Sis,
way.
it
It's
right here.
that way.
You
It's
know,
that way. Yeah, like, that was so refreshing. That's and we actually had an IG hookup session with, the founder of Daydream Design Firm.
oh yeah, girl, mine.
Yeah, yeah,
Mine,
yeah.
great.
And we hit on that topic about fending for yourself.
Most definitely. Because at this point in time, there are not really any new wheels, cogs that are being created.
I like how you put that, call.
Yeah, most of the shit that people are doing has already been done in some form or
Yeah,
fashion at least once.
that's why they say you don't have to reinvent the wheel,
Yeah, all you gotta do is grease it
Breeze it, you might
or
tweak it a little bit.
tweak it and roll that sucker
Yeah,
so it works for you.
speed it up, slow it down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so those are and that's one of the main things me and Miss Parker, we preach about being intentional on. Trying to reach back, teach back, help somebody. Like I say, what's your version of support? We've talked about that. Got a whole episode about that.
We do, don't we?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
absolutely
Yeah,
right.
we talk about what is your version of support. How do you feel supported? Like I said, for us, Watch for the Hook isn't monetary transactions. That's the main way to be
Yeah,
supportive
it's
of the brand.
e-commerce.
It's e-commerce business. It needs money to survive. The podcast, we need people to tune in, download, listen, or share or talk about it. Those are versions of support. That is us being intentional
Yep.
of saying, if we needed something to survive in this game, this is how you do it. That's us being intentional, telling our listeners, telling our viewers, that's how we keep it going.
Yeah.
And then that's how we can reach back to help others.
Yes.
That's the
It's
intent.
just that simple.
It's just that simple. That's the intent. That is exactly how it is. Me and Miss Parker, we like I say, we chose Wednesday off of listening to one of our mentors to do our drop dates for our
The
episodes,
release date, yeah.
release dates. That was intentional because we were told, and then we went and did some research, and we
Yeah.
saw that the other date, which was Friday, was a slower
Yeah.
download day. So why you were going to drop on a day when it's already showing you it's a slower trending day?
Yeah.
You want to try to hit where the height of downloads happen for most podcasts. That's Wednesday.
Right.
It's
And
intentional.
it just happened to kind of like have a little ring to
Yeah,
Watch for the
for the
Hook
hook.
Wednesday.
Yeah, we
So it worked out
WW.
fine.
We WW for the hook
No E.
Wednesday. Yeah, no, we just WW. Watch for
E.
the hook Wednesday.
But just being on that call, that live hookup session with Miss Losha, it was very inspiring. It was refreshing to hear her start was with intent. It
Yes,
wasn't I got mad in the moment. I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of doing that. It was I've been seeing this over the course of X amount of time. So I know now there's a space where I can create something, and I'm going to create it intentionally with intent to serve this purpose. And
exactly.
she has not veered from it.
Exactly. And so, man, like I say, we hope you all who have tuned into this episode somehow find you some intent,
Yeah.
find you some purpose, or find you some intentional purpose
Yeah.
to get some things going in your life, in your business, in your podcast world, in the apparel line, any of that things, because me and Miss Parker, we ain't no experts. Don't get it twisted. We still learn day by day,
Oh, yeah.
hour by hour, minute by minute. And we're always going to be honest and transparent, which has always been one of our big intentions to
Yes,
be
yes,
honest
yes,
and
yes.
transparent from the jump. You ain't got a question. Well, is they really doing that?
Oh, no, I told you. If I told you, that's the truth.
Oh, yeah. No, you ain't got to ask me. You ain't got to ask us. We show you. We ain't hiding shit.
Right, right, right.
No,
Transparency, pull the curtain back.
exactly. Miss Parker,
Yeah.
I sure do appreciate you with your intentions on being intentional today and
Oh,
intentionally letting the folks know you need to do some good shit in your business to keep it going. Cause you just throwing shit on that wall might not help it survive.
and the ones that I've seen doing good work and actually sustaining have been intentional. I think I just took you up.
Hey, catch y'all next time.